Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
What's today, Mandy?
It's convincing my bestie.
Yay!
So, this is where we convince each other to read in a trope that we maybe don't necessarily read in all the time. And I just did a poll to find out what people were interested in. And the one that won, I was shocked that I did not quite have enough books to do it. So, that one is coming. I got to work on it. This one, though, is one that has been requested quite a bit. So we're going to go with this one. Are you
Alien
ready?
Omegaverse! Oh, wait,
What?
that's me. It's an Alien
No,
Omegaverse.
kidding. Goodness.
Damn it.
So this is Book Recs. And typically this is not what you read in because you always say you need a little V with your P.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so weird.
I don't mind it. Like, I read it in my...
It's a weird saying.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I read it all the time in like reverse harems where there is there's like a relationship off to the side. I just don't seek it out.
Okay.
Single.
So
Yeah.
this is just
Okay.
Book Recs.
All right.
It's been requested quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people it's on the list. It's on the list. So we're doing it.
Okay,
Here
let's
we go.
list it out. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So I have 6 books for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
First up, we have Up in Flames by Eden Finley and Saxon James.
Okay.
And this is Sandon and Remy. Remy is getting married to Amar, and Amar stands him up at the altar.
Okay.
I know. Sandon convinces Remy to go ahead and have the party and basically just just go ahead, have a celebration. Like, he's not coming, I'm sorry, but let's just go ahead and have the party and have fun. So he does. And Remy then decides to go on the honeymoon by himself because that just sounds so sad. But he goes, and guess who shows up? Sandon.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just leave that there. I think
Okay.
that's enough info on that one.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it's better to have less. So you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you can give away too much.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that one I think is a little bit less.
Okay.
Next I have The Heart of Smoke by Kay Webster, and this is part of this. This is book number 3 in the Shameful Secrets series, which I believe you read a couple of the books in this world. So some of these characters you may recognize. So this is Jude and Tate's story. You get a little bit, you understand what's happening a little bit better if you've read the first 2, but you do not have to. So Tate is, he's a therapist. He's running from an abusive ex. He comes to town. His abusive ex, though, keeps messing with everything and making it really hard for him to start over. Like, just won't let him go. And Jude has a lot of guilt. And he has been kind of self-punishing himself for his mom's death when he was a teenager. They all live in this big, fancy, like almost compound-like neighborhood. And Jude's dad, the dad of the other siblings, is very concerned about everybody's mental well-being, which he kind of screwed everybody over a while ago. Yeah. And so he is concerned about this. So he decides to hire Tate to come live with them and be like basically their family psychologist. And he has Tate move in with Jude and the grandpa. Jude wears a mask over his face and will not let anybody see his face because he's hiding. There was a fire and hiding stuff. Okay. Jude and Tate start to kind of have a patient therapist relationship. that gets extremely complicated because the whole family is involved in all of this stuff. And
Mhm.
Tate still has this abusive stalker ex coming after him.
Okay.
Loved it. But again, I don't know why I say that because, like, it's not like I'm recommending books on here trying to convince you to read.
That you hated?
That
Yeah.
should be one of these. Convincing you to read the worst books I've read.
Oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
It could be funny, but I would never want to like publicly call out
And
or
I wouldn't want to do
like
that to an author for sure. Yeah.
exactly
Mhm.
publicly calling him out.
Yeah.
And, to each their own. Okay.
Exactly.
Next, I have another really good one. This one is a little emotional. And so
Ooh.
for those of you out there, you may need to check, you may want to, not need to. If you feel that you have some triggers, this one would be one that you would maybe want to check on. That
Do
is
I
Someday by Emma
knew it.
Scott.
I was like, this is Emma Scott.
Yes, yes. Hence the emotional angsty book. So here we're gonna see Max. Max, you see him in Forever right now. If you've read that story, he's a kind of a important character in there. He's Darlene's like bestie and sponsor. And at the end of the book, he leaves to go back to Seattle and he wants to try and repair his relationship with his parents because when he came out as gay, it didn't go as well as one would hope. And so he wants to repair this relationship. So he's back there. He works in the ER as a nurse and he attends NA. At NA, he is very taken by, in his words, a hot Unabomber that is there. He gives him a ride home, and there's some chemistry, like tension there between the two of them, but that's like, it's just kind of the Unabomber drops him off and takes off type thing. Well, Silas gets offered a job as a private nurse to somebody who's extremely wealthy and important, but they don't want people knowing that he needs this nurse. So it's like a lot of money. And so Silas takes this job opportunity. Well, this turns out to be the hot Unabomber's dad. And so that's Silas. And so Max and Silas are seeing each other quite frequently. The heartbreaking part of this story is that Silas's dad is very against him being gay and sent him to conversion therapy in his teens. So Silas is really struggling with his sexuality and what to do, and is actually engaged to a woman. And it gets very, very complicated, and it is heartbreaking, very emotional and angsty. I loved it
Hmm.
so much.
Okay.
Again, with me telling you that I loved every book that I'm telling you
Yeah,
to
I'm
read.
fully aware, but that's okay.
Okay, so now to lighten it up a little bit, because that was a heavier one,
Mhm.
we have Daddy Goes First by K.L. Mann. And so we have Noah. Noah is marrying the woman he got pregnant. And they're not really into each other, but he's just trying to step up and do the right thing. And the night of the wedding, he finds out, like his bride tells him at the reception, she's like, "Oh, just so you know, there's like a tradition in my family. We don't spend the night together on the first night. You go and spend the night with with the father of the bride, which would be her dad." And like it's a bonding type thing. And he's like, "This is really weird, but okay, whatever." He's just not really, he's just trying to do the right thing in this situation. And so Henry, father of the bride, so him and Henry go up to the room, and Noah's like probably thinking like, "Oh, we're gonna crack a beer and chat, type thing." That is not what Henry has in store, because the name of the book is Daddy Goes First. So yeah. Okay. I'll leave it at that.
So many questions about that book.
I
Okay.
loved it. So next I have Waves of Fury by Kay Webster. This is part of the Surviving Earth Chronicles that she wrote with Lindsay Pogue. So Lindsay Pogue has the other book. There's only two in it. They're both about they're two brothers. Each one wrote one of the brothers. And the world has been in this like almost post-apocalyptic world for a while. There's like volcanoes erupting, just lots of things are happening. The earth is changing drastically. And it's gotten really bad, and they're both trying to make it to a particular location and just survive what's happening. So in this one, they're in San Francisco. So we have Kellen, and Kellen is stranded in the high rise that he works in San Francisco when a tsunami hits. And they're like now in the middle of the ocean basically from the high rise, and he's stranded there with a few of his coworkers and Tyler, the food delivery guy. And there's a little bit of an age-ish gap kind of happening there. So the tsunami basically completely takes out San Francisco and they have to try and survive. So there's like a small group of them trying to get out of the high rise and back to land somehow. And during this time, Kellen and Tyler kind of start to feel a little bit of attraction to each other, but they're also trying to survive. Like things are crazy in this world that they're living in, and they're just trying to survive. So this is really heavy on the post-apocalyptic, but also in kind of, still finding a little love and hope in this crazy time.
Okay.
And I believe audio just came out for this one as well.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Kay Webster knows how to write.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next I have Wrath by Ella James or Ellis James. You can find it under either name. This is about Miller. And Miller is what Ezra calls a do-gooder. And he is always, trying to do good and be the nice guy and that sort of thing. And Ezra is his new stepbrother. And Ezra is kind of that wild, out of control bully. And he bullies Miller quite a bit, to the point where at times it can be a little difficult to read if you don't enjoy the bully romance. But it's him basically having some serious responses to trauma and not being able to deal with the fact that he is gay because of things that have happened to him. And so he is very into Miller, his stepbrother. They share moments together, and then he turns around and kind of treats Miller like crap. And Miller is seeing the trauma and the heartbreak that Ezra has, and he's trying to get through to him. But Ezra is very broken. This is a longer book, and it kind of almost feels like there's two parts to it. I think it's over 700 pages. So it is a longer book. I just want to put that out there. I'm not sure if there's audio. But I really, really enjoyed it. It is extremely angsty and very, very heartbreaking. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that one. Okay, so those are some really fast recs. I'm all over the place with Taboo. We have angsty emotional. We have survival. We're all over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I think for me, this is pretty obvious because I already read the first book or the other book in the series, and I really want to continue. And so I'm actually going to read Waves of Fury by Kay Webster. I loved Lindsay Pogue's book, and you guys all know I love post-apocalyptic. So for me, I mean, I am really intrigued with Daddy Goes First. I have questions, but I actually honestly, and Kay sent me Waves of Fury. I have it on my shelf, so I do already own it. So
Oh my gosh, you are so bad about that.
and so I need to read it. So I guess I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Daddy Goes First is a novella, so if your interest is still piqued, you can read that pretty quickly at another time.
Sure.
All of these are really good, so those of you watching, I think you'll like any of them that you pick, or I hope you do.
Okay.
Whatever you're in the mood for. Okay, well, we will be back to hear how Jessica enjoyed or thought of Waves of Fury. I guess we won't know if you really enjoyed or not.
Not until we come back. Though. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. All right.
All right, Jessica, we are back. How did you enjoy Waves of Fury by Kay Webster?
I grabbed it. I pulled it off the shelf.
Nice.
I did enjoy it. I like post-apocalyptic, so I knew that I would. As far as seeking out an just straight up romance, it's definitely not. I missed the V. I did miss the V with the P. Did I enjoy the story? 100%. Gave it a 4-star. I did enjoy it. But I did miss the V. I did. I I just need some V with my P. So, I don't I mean, I like it when it's in like reverse harem. I just, you know,
Okay.
yeah. But I did like the story. It was a good story. You never know who's gonna survive and who's not. It's great.
Yeah, Kay
So.
had no mercy.
She didn't. And it actually had me questioning at the end of this book, we see a setup for another book. But I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah,
So,
I kind of wondered, and I was on their team for both the books, and they both said that they enjoyed writing in there, but they didn't know, like, they wouldn't mind going back, but they really didn't at the time have any
mhm.
plans for anything.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
really left it very open-ended if they would write in that world again or not.
Yeah. But I mean, she, like, Kay set it up more so than Lindsay did in her book, as
Hmm.
far from what I could tell. So I'm curious. I'll see what Kay has to say about that. But the audio just came out for it. The audio was great. Definitely listen to the audio if that's your thing. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it quite a bit. But I do love me
I
a good
already
post-apocalyptic.
I already know what I'm going to do for the next convincing. I'm very excited
Mhm.
about. The people probably know because they voted for it.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do too. Then next weekend I gotta convince you while we're gone.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's why we do these every couple of weeks because we record the choices and then we give the person a week to do it and then we record their reaction and
Yeah.
put it together. So we're we're always in the works with one of these
Yes.
videos, even
Yeah.
though you only see them like twice a month, usually every other week.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes some planning. So
Yes.
okay.
All right. Well, make sure you guys check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us, and usually Wednesdays as well.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.